The night before last, I managed to finish Blood Moon Rises and get my quest cape back, and while everything was still fresh in my mind, I thought I'd put together a little bit of an unscripted yap to go over my thoughts. And to keep it short and sweet for those who are curious and want me to get straight to the point, it was fantastic. I loved it. A little bit long in the tooth in some parts, otherwise excellent. The music, incredible. The environments, phenomenal. The atmosphere and how tense it was, loved it. Absolutely loved it. But short version, very, very good. Solid 9 out of 10. It's very much climbed its way up the ladder to one of my favorite stories in RuneScape. Still doesn't quite take out the top spot to the martial arts storyline, but still phenomenal work. Again, Jag, actually, you cooked. You absolutely cooked. Well done. When Blood Moon Rises first launched, I was finishing off my 99 sailing journey and managed to get that finished up on stream. And there's a fun little end to that where you decided to dive into Blood Moon Rises to completely change up the pace and do something a little bit different. So dived into the start of the quest, made it up to Drakan's castle and pretty well called it there. Needed a good night's sleep and I'm very glad I did, because that castle, the first, I would say 15, 20 minutes, pretty exciting, pretty cool. I was excited to do some puzzles, but it dragged on for far too long. You guys did awesome work with the design of it. But I remember clearing the top levels and then going, oh, I've got an entire basement down there, and then more puzzles up the top, 4 out and 3. It just, my books was a little bit long in the tooth. I'm not going to go into story spoilers too much, but I will say the second to last boss gave me quite a bit more trouble than I was anticipating. I was expecting it to be quite straightforward, but it handed my ass to me 6 ways to Sunday. And I kind of appreciated that. I had people in stream saying this was a little bit of a taste of what was to come in the next fight and the final fight, and they weren't kidding. It was excellent overall. That fight frustrated me a little bit, but that's entirely on me. As a little bit of background, I was a skiller for many, 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 many years. I started this account as a skiller, and then about a year and a half, 2 years ago, decided let's go do PVM. Got my quest cape, managed to dive into some PVM. Not as much as I'd like. I'm going to keep it real. I am by no means a good PVMer. I don't consider myself a good PVMer. I'll be transparent about that. So when I talk about what I talk about next, just have that context. So managed to get the second to last boss done and then the finale. Now, I'm sure many of you know that this is Drakan. They were very open about who that final boss was going to be and that it was going to be difficult. I didn't realize how difficult. And this is where frustration started to boil, and not towards the quest. I need to make that abundantly clear now. I was throwing myself at a brick wall for what felt like 10 hours on that first day trying to do this fight. And I know there's going to be some people that will say get good and that's way too long, but that's what it took me. And even then, I managed to get down to the end of the first phase and get to the waves, and from there, I didn't really know what to do because I felt my dodges were perfect. I was getting the right timing, but I was taking too much damage. I was having to brew lots and I was just getting frustrated. Not at the game, but at myself. And reading all the comments online from people either saying it was easy, quest is easy, get good, or the people were saying, no, it was difficult, I struggled, but I pushed through and I got there. And that was the thought I was hanging on to. But I can't remember the last time a piece of content in RuneScape made me sit down and just knuckle in and try get it done. I think the fire cape was probably the last thing that I could think of, but yeah. I remember calling it quits that night, going to bed, feeling pretty defeated, had work the next day. All day at work, all I could think about was beating this fucking boss. And that's how I knew the hooks were in. Part of that was I wanted my quest cape back, but I also wanted the book of knowledge that you get from the end to get to 77 rune crafting and also unlock the hunter training method that came with Vampirium as well. That was my end goal and why I was really, really gunning to get this done. Finished work, got home, cracked a beer, dived straight back into the fight, and I was actually, at this point, live reacting, if you will, with how my attempts were going in the Discord. Frustrations and trying to keep positive included in saying, yeah, just gotta keep to it, just gotta keep to it. But the more I did it, I had a point where it just kind of clicked. And I couldn't tell you whether it was gradual or not because it certainly didn't feel it. Felt like I wasn't making any progress. But then there was one attempt, it was the waves phase, and I was dodging away, and I noticed I've only used 2 brews. And unfortunately, then my hand started to get a little bit shaky because I realized, oh, this could be it. This could be the one. This could be the one. And it was a fumble. I was done. And I got very, very cranky again at myself for not being able to do this. And feeling like I've got the mechanics down. I need to keep my cool and get it done. So I went back in and I just kept sending attempt and attempt and attempt on that second night. And eventually we got into 600 health. And then 480 health, and then 300 health, and then 200 health, and then 63 health, and then 51 health. And I was saying, I know this is it. Why can I not do this? I know I've got this. And then that final attempt, I sat down, my cool, and got to the wave phase, jumped over. It's the final phase. I worked out how to do the claw dodge and where to click and basically stand still. Click where is not going to be simple in hindsight, but that tripped me up for a really long while. And then the final phase came, and instead of getting the shaky hands and freaking out, no, I took a breath, I exhaled, and I focused on the animations. I didn't even let my prayer go down to the lightning like I had every other round. I felt like, yeah, I felt really proud. I felt like I was actually doing PVM. I won't lie, it felt really, really good. And Drakan fell, and I got my quest cape. And for the last night or two, I've been doing Hunter in Vampirium. I've gone from 88 to 93. Jagex, don't you dare nerf this method. It is incredible. I love it. It's a great reward for what I feel was the terminal I went to get this cape back. It was absolutely a Grandmaster quest. It deserved a Grandmaster boss. Now that I'm on the other side of that hurdle, I don't think the difficulty should be changed. I didn't at the time either. But I was definitely in the camp of, I can't do this. Will I actually get this quest cape? And, well, yes, you can. And yes, I did. And I'm very happy I did. But all in all, phenomenal quest. I'm almost sad that we can't do the final fight again. And I hope that in some form or another, they can take those dodging mechanics and find a way to incorporate into another fight or another activity. Even maybe a way to train agility. That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, all in all, I thought it was really, really good. And haven't used the weapons, couldn't tell you what they do as far as the quest rewards, but again, Vampirium was my quest reward, and I've been having a blast doing these stimpikes, however you'd like to pronounce it, and having a blast. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it for today. Thank you for coming along on this little yap with me. I do appreciate it. If you do want to see more, chucking me a like or a subscribe absolutely goes a long way being a smaller channel. Outside of that, though, have yourself an awesome day or an awesome night, depending on where you're watching from, and I will catch you in the next one. Love you heaps, and take care.